Stimulation. I love hanging out with the 3 years old. I love the way they see the world because they are seeing the world for the first time. A 3-year-old can stare at the bug crossing the sidewalk for half an hour. A 3 years old drop their jaws at the first baseball game, soaking in the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the smell of the popcorn. A 3-year-old can spend an entire afternoon picking dandelion in the backyard just to drop them into the glass of water as the centerpiece for dinner. Having a sense of stimulation is about embracing your inner 3-year-old. Every day at work, you experience hundreds of tiny joys. They are easy to overlook, but their work exposes us to simple joys every day. When everyone nods at the thing you just said in the meeting, the guy who fixed the photocopier for you coming back from lunch to a way better parking spot, when the meeting ends early, a coworker showing you a keyboard shortcut on your computer, leftover cake in the office kitchen, the feeling you get after finishing a big project right after the deadline and knowing you did a great job, when someone come decorates your cubicle for your birthday. When I speak to companies, I ask everybody in the audience to spend 30 seconds writing down one awesome thing that happens to them at work. We leave cue card on their chairs beforehand. Then I ask people to trade their cue card with somebody who they have never talked to before, and then we read the cue cards in front of the room. That's when we realize that in span of a second we came up with thousands of awesome things together. When there is a hot water left in the kettle, so I don't have to heat up any. When the person you are meeting even later than you are. When the boss says thanks to you. The point is that work gives us a place to learn and discover so many new things about our life and our world. We don't hire our coworkers, so they are diverse ages, backgrounds, experiences, and thoughts that we don't always get from friends and family. Retiring slices of this learning, seeing, and experiencing the simulation of our world. Story. The pacemaker was invented in 1899 when a G.A. McWilliam reported in the British Medical Journal the discovery that an electric impulse to the human heart causes a ventricular contractions. In other words, you could make a heartbeat by zapping it with power. In the 1920s, an early version of the pacemaker appeared. It plugged into your heart and plugged into the wall, which was great. Except when the power went out, so did you. Still, they used this early version to revive a stillborn infant in 1928 in Sydney, Australia. After 10 minutes, the baby's heart beat of its own accord. Suddenly, there was a potential. Between in the 1930s and World War II, pacemaker development went silent. No improvement, no new technologies, no commercialization. Why? They became taboo. People thought pacemaker revived the death and didn't like the idea of tampering with nature. Must have seen too many zombie movies. Eventually, in the 1960s, fully implantable pacemaker were popularized by a company called Medtronic. Who do I tell you all this? Because the Medtronic has a great story. What's their missions? What's their story? What are they trying to do? Here is an edited version. To contribute to human welfare by alleviating pain, restoring health, and extending life. Impressive. Beautiful. A great story. If you work at Medtronic, you can probably get behind that. I can extend the life and restore health, and they make it easy to get behind it too. The company brings its story to life by printing it on walls throughout the office and having patients read how Medtronic devices touch their life at a big company meeting. Can you imagine how you will feel if an 11-year-old girl got on a stage to read a letter saying, "Thank you for giving my dad 8 extra years to live, and after his heart attack I got to take photos and tweak memories that I wouldn't have otherwise had." I bet the story of your company will really resonate with you. Every company has a story. Coke wants to give the world happiness break. Harvard Business School is educating leaders who make a difference in the world. Facebook is making the world more connected. Wikipedia is giving the sum of human knowledge to every single person for free. The Red Cross prevents the alleviates human pain and suffering. Google is organizing the world's information. Story. When you're working, you become part of something bigger than yourself. Volunteer at the library and you spread knowledge to the community. Teach at the college and you are developing productive members of society. Write for city's biggest blog and you are creating community. What does retiring do? It jumps you out of a productive story. You are not part of something bigger than yourself anymore. This hampers your ikigai. So don't give up at work. You will be giving up the social structure, stimulation, and story you get every day from being there. Forget the money. You will lose the 4S, and they are much more important. 8. The dream we all have that is completely wrong. Oh, I will never get the chance to ask him about it, but I'm sure that city's house I saw Mr. Wilson was on those few weeks before he retired. He didn't want to go. He loved the student, he loved the school, he loved helping kids navigate their paths in life. The government forced him to give up the thing he wanted most. They took away Monday morning coffees with the guidance of his secretaries, halfway walk at lunch, and the energy from the 1,000 teenagers every day. They took away his sense of helping kids through family trouble, failing grades, and anxiety about decision. They took away the thing he loved the most. Mr. Wilson taught me that a retirement as we think of it today, it's not a dream we actually want. We don't actually want to do nothing. We just want to do something we love. Hazel McCallion was 93-year-old when she decided she would retire from being mayor of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada's fifth largest city. That's after she held the job for more than 40 straight years, winning 12 straight elections and outlasting 8 Canadian Prime. Yeah. Why? Did she keep going nearly 30 years after retirement age? There are still challenges, she said. I don't know what I would do, and I want to keep busy. We win challenges. Challenges let us contribute a sense of giving, learning, and improving to ourselves and the world. We feel alive. We experience life. We feel like we can do anything. According to Merriam-Webster, retirement means withdrawal from one's position or occupation or from active working life. In other words, dropping out and going home, dropping your withered bones off at the beach. What happens when you withdraw from active working life? You idle, which is defined as to spend time doing nothing. What happens when you do nothing? You get bored. According to Merriam-Webster, boredom is the state of being weary and restless through lack of interest. Feeling weary because one is unoccupied. Is that what you want? Indonesian author Toba Beta says you get old faster when you think about retirement. Yeah, so what's the dream we all have that is completely wrong? Retirement. Fortune magazine published a report saying the two most dangerous years of our life are the year we are born and the year we retire. There is a reason retirement killed my favorite guidance counselor because we give away our ikigai and we do it to ourselves with planning, with purpose, together with the sudden loss of social structure, stimulation, and story. What we find in the barren tundra of retirement is the cold, wet, guilt trends thought that this is what we wanted. This is what we'll work our whole life toward. This is the pot of gold that at the end of the rainbow. But there is no pot of gold. Remember the 4S when you are lost. The world has far more problems, opportunities, challenges than it has people like you to do interesting and meaningful work on them. There is so much you can do. There are so many places to go. I know when you look, you will always find meaty project and passionate causes you can sink in your teeth into. Just keep learning, keep changing, and keep growing. And promise me that you will never retire. Be happy, do it for you, remember the lottery, and never retire. Secret 5: How to make more money than a Harvard MBA. 1. What does Harvard do for your salary? Harvard makes you feel rich. I walked through campus for 2 years feeling like I would being cast a money bags in a movie about rolling the world and having it all. On Harvard's campus, tall twisting oak trees blow softly in the wind, casting polka dot shadow over a beautiful red brick building, manicure ivy, and rolling lawns. Student is open 30-foot tall, carved wooden doors because stepping into marble tidal libraries between classes, students grab meat to order sushi from the cafeteria before eating with friends, and on brown leather couches against wall covered with expensive original art. The students at Harvard Business School feel rich because they either are rich and they are about to get rich. The average graduating salary is $120,000. To put that in perspective, the average American makes for $24,000. Yeah, it's 5 times. That means the first phase Dewey, 26-year-old with 2 years of business school under his or her belt, makes 5 times what the average American citizen makes. I know my salary almost tripled after I graduated from Harvard. Yes, Harvard makes you feel rich because it actually makes you rich. Or does it? 2. Is everyone nuts? I was sad when I graduated because all my friends were scattering in a different direction. After a big road trip, it was suddenly all over, and then Mark and his wife moved to Houston and he got a job with a high-end consulting company. About a quarter Harvard Business School grads go work for a consulting firm, and the hours are notoriously tough unless they land a local assignment. Most consultants fly out Monday morning and fly home Tuesday night every single week, every single month, forever. Chris went to Washington DC to be assistant principal at the bigger charter school. We kept in touch, but he was always at work when I called. We talked about our road trip and would ask him, "Are you getting any sleep these days?" He would say, well, I got to work every morning around 7 a.m. and get home around 9 p.m. I usually go in for a few hours on the weekend, too. So yeah, enough sleep, but not much else. Ryan went into private equity in New York. Another quarter of Harvard Business School grads get high-end finance job in investment banking, private equity, and or hedge funds. They have big companies buy each other, invest in liquid assets, create complicated investment. Yeah, but Ryan told me he started work around 10 a.m. and worked till 11 p.m. 7 days a week. Sonia went to work in Silicon Valley at a big tech company. The tech giant hired nearly another quarter of the graduates from our class and had a great reputation for garment mill, dry cleaning, and ping pong table at the office. When I reached out to Sonia year after graduation, she told me she loved her job and was working about 80 hours a week. Wow, it seems crazy to me, but all of my friends were working 80 to 100 hours a week, and a week only has 168 hours in it. Where was their third bucket? I remember thinking, is everyone nuts? I thought back to Harvard and remember going out for dinner with a group of McKinsey consultants during a required event. They flew to Boston and dined us at a risky joint. We drank expensive wine and delicious food and talked about world issues into the wee hours. My brain was overheating because of the simulation conversation. These guys were warm, friendly, and killer smart. It was a great night, but the thing I remember most is that when we were finally finished up around 2 in the morning, all the McKinsey consultants were going back to work. They were jumping on conference call with teams in Shanghai, opening a laptop to do email, or getting together to finalize presentation for the next day. At 2 in the morning. Consultant and finance folk make up most of Harvard Business School grads, and they work approximately 80 to 100 hours a week. So are they really making $120,000 a year? I don't know. 3. The single calculation to find out what you really make. You remember fractions? I learned them back in 4th grade in a multi classroom with flickering fluorescent light in my elementary school. Pink chalk dust scroll across blackboard showing us how 1/2 can be written. A 1/2 or a 3/4 can be written in 3/4, with the 3 being the numerator and 4 being the denominator. As in, I sat in the couch in sweatpants, watching TV all Saturday night and ate 3/4 of a pepperoni pizza. Well, the Harvard salary of $120,000 is a fraction too. It means you make what $120,000 per 1 year of work. That sounds great, but there is one little problem with that fraction. Nobody works every single hour of the year. Therefore, it doesn't make sense talking about how much money you make over an entire year of work. That makes salary sounds like a giant cardboard paycheck handed out on New Year's Eve with hearty handshakes. Congrats, Simpsons, you blew away your sales number for the past 12 months. After a solid year of grinding it out every single day, you have finally earned your annual paycheck, but it does not work that way. We don't earn big fat dollars for years of work. We earn tiny little dollar for our work. When I had my first babysitting job, I worked for $5 per hour. Pretty sweet deal for watching Alf with a couple of 8-year-old while eating unlimited cheese starring. Then I did yard work for my parents for $10 per hour. That was so generous of them, since the going rate for ranking leaf and shuffling driveways was lower than that. Although I did help them avoid pesky health insurance by getting paid under the table, some of my friends did construction for $12 per hour. Some lifeguard at pools for $16 per hour. Point is, every single job is paid by the hour. Some are 40 hours a week, some are 80, some are 120, but no matter how much money you are making, the numerator is how much you get and the denominator is how much you work. Every single job is paid by the hour. Harvard Business School grads make double or triple the money a lot of people make, but they often work double or triple the hours to do. When you work that much, it's harder to find time to shovel the driveway, play with your kids, or plant your garden. So maybe you hire people on the cheap to do those things for you. You will still have fun. Frankly, the money you are making can afford luxury vacation, an expensive restaurant. You may have even more fun, but there is less time for fun. Your third bucket disappear. Think about whether it's important to you. Feel the pride of freshly shoveled driveway, the joy of watching your kids discover a new world, and see the tulip you planted in the fall finally bloom in the spring. There is nothing wrong with either life, but think about the life you want. For how does a teacher or retail assistant manager make more than a Harvard MBA? Time for Scribble. Here is how much a Harvard MBA makes compared to two very common jobs: an assistant manager at a retail store and an elementary school teacher. Yeah, they all make $28 per hour. Where did they get the numbers from? Well, teachers are scheduled for 7-hour school days, usually 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. with typically an hour off for lunch. Let's round that up to 30 working hours a week. But we all know how hard teachers work. We know it's way more than that. My dad was a teacher. My wife Leslie is a teacher. They bring work home. The average teacher does an hour or two of work every single night, marking, prepping, coaching a team, so I added 10 hours a week for that. Retail store assistant managing are typically scheduled for 40-hour work weeks, but it's a tough job. They end up working before or after Steve. Sometimes there are questions, issues pop up, people call them at home, so I added 10 hours a week for that. And the 85 hours for half of MBS, it's a ballpark average figure based on my data, research, and personal experience working on consulting gigs in a Chicago hotel room. Are slaving away on an investment banking deal does not exactly give you free evenings or weekends. Although these numbers are generally accurate, of course, there are exceptions. Maybe you are a teacher who worked 85 hours a week or a half an MBA who works 40, but stick with me here, because the secret still was meaning for you. What's the bottom line? They all make $28 per hour. So how do you make more money than a Harvard MBA? There are two ways. One, work more hours and make way more per year. Two, work way less hours and make less per year. This works because when you overvalue your time, you make more money by working less hours and earning more dollar per hour. But wait, am I telling you to work less? Absolutely not. My point is that you should suddenly dial down your interest, passion, and career. My point is to calculate how much you make per hour and know this number. Remember this number, have this number in your head. I have friends who work around the clock as downtown lawyers and they joke, when I do the math actually make less than minimum wage. They are right, and frankly I don't understand them. Don't make less than a minimum wage. The way to make money more the way to make more money than a Harvard MBA is not to get your annual salary over $120,000 or $150,000 or $500,000. It's to measure how much you make per hour and overvalue you, so you are spending time working only on things you enjoy. The average life expectancy in our world today is 70 years, and we sleep For a third of that, that means you have 400,000 waking hours in your life total. You have 400,000 hours to spend in your life total. I understand how much a half a day meal really makes and overvalue you. So every single hour of your working life is spent doing something you love. Yeah, be happy first. Do it for you. Remember the lottery, never retire, and overvalue you. Secret number 6. The secret to never being too busy again. 1. Do this and you will suddenly have a space back in your life. For years, I have watched many business leaders burn out, sometimes flame out spectacularly, console traveling for months, suddenly have anxiety attack or airplane, high-powered CEO in their 40s having heart attack or strokes, suicides attempt. I don't want to scare you, but leaders doing too much are bubbling with fire inside, and not the good kind. Here is another scribble. This one's called the Space Scribble, and it reflects what I have learned from those leaders who have been able to manage high doing and high thinking. Instead of checking themselves into hospital, they knew how to surf between wave of thinking and doing with skills. I have seen the Space Scribble mastered by CEO of hospitality company, a multimillionaire luxury goods merchant, and 3-time New York Times bestselling author. No, it doesn't take a specific personality, makeup, or mood. You just have to want balance. The Space Scribble helps you get more done and the happier doing it. It's good news for your future bosses, lover, and kids. In the top right corner of this scribble is doing, thinking. When we are going really hard, we are all right there. Highest possible thinking, highest possible doing, up all night prepping for a conference, week of the big launch, first month on the job. It feels so great to be in the corner. You are in the moment. You are in the zone. You are burning. Yes, if you are doing a lot of thinking a lot, if you are burning it at both ends, which two ends? Your thinking and your doing end. Take it from Pulitzer Prize winning poet Edna St. Vincent Millay in her book Poetry published in June 1918. My kettle burns at the both ends. It will not last the night, but my foods and my friends, it gives a lovely light. Burn give a lovely light. Yes, it's hard to leave the burn box because you are getting so much done. You are incredibly productive. It's a massive high adrenaline squeeze from battery-sized gland on top of your kidneys. Keep your turbocharged. And beware of the feedback mechanism. They often can't be trusted. A big bonus reward extra effort. Customers send thank you notes for bending over backward. Your bosses congratulate you on hitting an aggressive deadline and then presents an even more aggressive one. Is this feedback malicious? It's not meant to be, but it's a dangerous side effect of finding a business model that works. A senior partner at a prestigious global consulting firm once said to me after a busy dinner, "We found type A super achievers from Ivy League school who need lots of reward and prize, and then dangle carrot just over the next deadline, project, and promotion, so they keep pushing themselves. Over every hill is an even bigger reward and an even bigger hill. The burn is so seductive because it's so productive. You feel great there. Is it any wonder?" I once heard a riddle quiz on a conference panel. It's a bad sign when a store manager buys a house. Means they are settling down, means they might get stale. We moved the best manager from city to city so they have a new community to learn, a new social and work system to develop. It gives the stores great energy to have new ideas, and when they get comfortable, we move them again. He didn't say this at the head of a mahogany table while petting a cat and filling a room without laughter. He just shared what worked best for his business. It was his job to do what was best. My point is that there is nothing wrong with burning, but there is something wrong with burning out. It feels great to get a lot done, but just be careful you don't go too hard, too long. That's when you slip right off the edge of the scribble. Very few people have courage to tell you that you are near your max. Never breaks down, tearful breakups, heart attack always come far too late. So what's the solution? You must create space. Space is the exact opposite of bomb. Not thinking, not doing. This is the sandy beach vacation without plans, phones, or thoughts. Lying on the beach chair while some sunbeams soak you, wave pounds in the distance, and your mind slowly lets go of everything and silently squeezing. That space is not the vacation with the backlit itinerary or your email buzzing in the background. Those don't turn off the doing and thinking part of your brain. Wooded cabins, meditative retreat, or locking yourself in the bedroom can also give you space. You need space. But let me caution that, just like a bomb, the space bug can be toxic in high doses. What I mean, my mom retired from her government job at the same time my sister and I moved out the house while my dad was still motoring around town every day. Group of friends. She was suddenly home alone without social structure, planned activity, or a group of friends. She was in a great thinking phase for a while, but eventually she noticed her weekdays and weekends blurring together, a personal problem, becoming unproductive, and simply not having enough to do or think about. This continued until she joined a bridge club and a professional network and had a granddaughter to care for 1 day a week. Space without an end date or an ikigai can lead to swirling and swirling. What happens in all the two boxes? Think means you are thinking, pretty simple. You are reflecting, spacing yourself from doing anything, but still engaging your mind. Journaling, writing a book, thinking about an issue, at work with a friend, partner, or therapist, all great things to do. All physically relaxing, which allow you to completely indulge and engage in your thoughts. Do means you're doing, not thinking, just doing. Hiking a mountain, working out intensely, physically engage all your blood pumps to your muscles and let your mind slip away and relax. The space scribble says every single moment you are in one of four boxes, and every single moment you need to know which one you are in and which you are going to the next. Happy people alternate between boxes. They flip-flop, they swirl, they jump, they know where they are, and they know how to create space. 2. The 3 B's of creating space. Does creating space just mean taking a break? Doing nothing? No. Now, it's much more important than that. The space itself has a productive purpose. Chris Ulrich is the head of growing tech company, digital app, digital currency, digital development. His entire life is digital. But he says his best ideas come from the notepad he left beside his bed. A former retail CEO told me his biggest business problem were always solved by a long jog in the woods. Imagine, not the office, boardrooms, or conferences, just running in the woods. And Teddy Kravitz, who runs one of the North American largest talent agencies, says he can't explain it, but whenever he's on his 3 hour Sunday morning bike ride, he always gets a brilliant idea how he can do something differently. He says he's rigged up his cell phone on his arm to leave voicemails to himself while riding. Creativity researchers sometimes prefer to place ideas suddenly pop up into your heads at the 3 B's. Bet, bet up. Bus. When we take time off from working on a problem, we change what we are doing in our context, and that activates a different areas of our brain, says Keith Sawyer, author of Explaining Creativity. If the answer was not in the part of brain we are using, it might be in another. If we are lucky in the next context, we may hear or see something that relates distantly to the problem we had temporarily put aside. Where did Newton discover gravity? Sitting under an apple tree. Where did Niels Bohr discover the structure of the atom? In a lab with gigantic microscopes. In a classroom with the walls of equations on the blackboards. During a meeting with the world's greatest minds? No, he was led by strange images in his dream. Where did Archimedes discover that the volume of irregular objects could be measured by water displacement? This was 2000 years ago in ancient Greece. Mind you, surely he must have met with kings, studied ideas from Plato, or debated scientific insight in lengthy letters with contemporaries. No, he was stepping into a bath and noticed the water spill over the top. When he made the connection, he shouted, Eureka! Which is ancient Greek for I have found it. 3. This is how NASA Alfred Hitchcock and Nicole Katsaras used this secret. Why does creating space work? Stop thinking to do. Stop doing to think. Stop both. And your brain gets really excited. Trouble struck NASA in 1933 when their revolutionary Hubble Space Telescope broke down. It was spinning around Earth way up in the sky with a busted 96-inch mirror, unable to do the thing it was blasted up there to do, which was take picture of the universe to figure out how big and old our starry home is. Pretty important job. NASA was reeling from the Challenger disaster of 1986 and completely losing a Mars observer the year before. Whoops, this only cost $813 million. When their telescope was flying around broken, they were a laughing stock. They were stressed. We all feel extra pressure. Joseph Rotensberg, NASA's Associate Director of Flight Project, said at the time. What if funding was cut, program chopped? So did they what many organizations do when they are scared and in trouble. Double down, bet it all, go for broke. NASA opened the purse string and spent a year training their most experienced astronaut with 200 custom-made tools to go up and actually try to fix the distorted mirror inside the Hubble Space Telescope while it flew around the outer space. They had to save their reputation, but there was just one problem. As months went on and as the scientists burned cash, nobody could figure out how they were actually going to attach this new mirror inside the telescope. Where did the solution eventually come from? Creating space. One day NASA engineer Jim Crocker was taking a shower in the hotel in Germany. He noticed the European-style shower head mounted on just adjustable rod with folding arm. A brainwave occurred and Jim pictured using the same rod to mount a new mirror inside the Hubble. Flash forward, and this moment of clarity was the secret of fixing the telescope and allowing it to function to this day. Jim was not working late on Friday. He was not in the lab all weekend. He was in the shower on vacation, allowing his brain the space to relax. When it was not told what to do, it did its own thing. Today, the Hubble routinely pulls back colorful, mind-bending images that expand imaginations around the world, all from the German shower. Alfred Hitchcock is called the master of suspense and directed more than 50 films over 6 decades, including Psycho and the Birds. How did he create space while working on a tough screenplay? One of his co-writers says, when we came up against a block and our discussion became very heated and intense, he would stop suddenly and tell a story that had nothing to do with the work at hand. At first I was almost outraged, and then I discovered that he did this intentionally. He mistrusted working under pressure, and he would say, we are present, we are working too hard. Relax, it will come. It will come. And then of course it finally always did. Creating space in our mind allowed thoughts to switch and swirl around without us stirring them with a wooden spoon. They are free, they fly in a different direction, and we often like the taste of what comes back. Creating space even work in less obvious ways. Take abstract painter Nicole Katsouras, whose work is exhibited in London, Seoul, Paris. Stephen Ranger, a contemporary art specialist at Waddington's, described her work as quasi-abstractions that transcend the inherent limit of picture, sharing a vision that is uniquely hers. What does Nicole Katsouras say about creating space? I find my most creative period in the studio is when I reach a space that I call the void. That's when time slows down and speed up all at once. My unconscious and conscious are calm and I'm no longer aware. When I reach the void, I'm totally consumed with pushing pen on canvas, a sort of meditative state. Around me is this quiet noise, a humming of nothing, devoid of thoughts, sounds, and everything physical. Other than my pen and canvas, in the void I never remember how much time has passed, or what I was doing before or during. It's my most productive creative time. It's where some of my best work happens. What about the actual white space she has in her paintings? I try to recreate these moments, little plateaus, break and resting spots among the abstract imaginary for the viewer's eyes to rest from organized chaos of thick, colorful, sculptural gobs of paint. I think that moments of stillness are important to appreciate both the big and small things that are all around us. So how do you create space? How do you free your mind like Newton, Bohr, or Archimedes? How do you open your brain to receive insight worthy of NASA, Hitchcock, or Katsuras? How do you clear your thoughts so you have space to come up with innovative ideas that challenge your business? It's as simple as jogging on Sunday morning. No, it's not. You might not have time for that jog. You could be weighed down mentally while racing down the street. You may have too much going on. Big meetings, busy days, this be scribble, you need to get there, but rather than just saying go on a vacation more dummy, I want to share 3 specific and tangible ways you can create space. I want to introduce the 3 removals. Think of them as Cape Crusaders in menacing black masks holding big sharp sketches. Ready to hack parts of your life away so you are free to do other things? Space comes from hacking. Space in dance jungle comes from hacking at vines. Space in calendars comes from hacking at meetings. Space in your life comes from hacking at choices, time, and access. 4. Removal 1. How to make every decision at once to spit a duck out of a tiny 6-seat plane and step carefully down the metal stairs. Deep blue skies hang like wallpaper over the world as we stare at empty yellow field all around us. I'm the official tour guide for Peter Aston, a European clothing chain CEO on a trip over the ocean visiting big box discount stores. We are 30 days into flight over Great Lakes, Jack Rock, and thick boreal forests. 15 minutes later, we get out of cab, walk into the store, start walking around. He asks questions and takes photo, and I make notes and follow up for him. We are walking around the store when we get to the clothing section and Peter suddenly stops. He looks stunned, eyes popping up, and he reaches for his phone and starts snapping picture. He is excited. Look, how busy the department is, he says. Customers are swarming over the section more than the last few like this. Notice of the last 2 stores are struggling to offer clear choices, mixed style, colors smeared across the rainbow, inconsistent brand and label. They were Treasure Hunt. I nod. Same chain but a different look, and much busier. This clothing department looks completely different. Somebody has taken the clothes shipped by the head office, ditched most of them, and created their own offering with a consistent style, them, and colors. Shirts on one side, pants on the other, dresses at the back, all the same 3 colors. This is one of the best clothing departments I have seen. Beats a lot of stores they have overseas. Back on the plane to see a couple of new stores in another town. I asked Peter what was so exciting about the display. Customer get the opinion of a trusted source, someone you trust has met pick you so you don't have to. Nobody has time to wait through foggy seas and of endless decision. They give up or make bad choices. The display says here is the color, here is the style, here is what you want. Take it or leave it. There are less decisions, so you feel confident and trust the opinion. Early in my career, I worked a summer job helping a buyer for fish in an American supermarket chain. He continues, we had every kind of fish, we had every kind of seasoning. It was all fresh. It was priced well, but nobody bought it. We couldn't figure it out. Finally, we realized customers were scared of buying fresh fish. Which one tastes best? How do you season it? How do you cook it? Too many decisions. So we changed our section. We only carried 3 kinds of fish at a time, not 10, not 15, 3, and we had 1 kind of seasoning for each. So you suddenly only had 1 choice to make: Cajun throat teriyaki salmon or lemon sole. Once you made your pick, the fishmonger dipped your fish in the seasoning and the label printed off the instruction on how to cook it. What happened? Sales were up over 500%. I realized fewer choices means faster decision. Our brains don't need to mentally step into each new option and stretch out inside them, picturing them, evaluating them, holding them in our heads. While we step into the next option, fewer choices means faster decisions. How do the President of the United States and the CEO of Facebook make every decision at twice the speed? Less time spent on decision means more time for everything else. What does President Obama tell us about making every decision at twice the speed? You will see I wear only gray or blue suits. He said in a 2020 Vanity Fair article, I'm trying to pare my own decision. I don't want to make a decision about what I'm eating or wearing because I have too many other decisions to make. You need to focus your decision-making energy. You need to routinize yourself. You can't be going through the day distracted by trivia. You can be going through the day distracted by trivia, okay? What about Mark Zuckerberg, founder of the CEO of Facebook? I own my B20 identical gray t-shirt. I mean, I wear the same thing every day, right? He said in a two-day interview. Mark's not turning head on the runway, but he does not care. His goal is building the world's largest social media company. A minute more a day picking a t-shirt is a minute less a day he's thinking about this company. The curious case of Benjamin Lee. Cutting decision, chopping decision, cutting them out. It takes me back to my first office job many years ago. I was 22 years old and had just graduated from university. Procter & Gamble hired me as assistant brand manager for CoverGirl and Max Factor makeup, and I started in the summer. Benjamin Lee was the first person I met on my first day. Chinese in his mid-20s. Ben had twin jumpy eyes, close cropped hair, and wore tight, dark clothes. I assumed he was a Zen master because his desk had no picture, no artwork, no obvious work on it. Just a tiny bowl of rock punctured with 3 bamboo shoots. Ben's desk was right beside me, and after a few weeks of working together, I started noticing his style. Black shoes, black sock, black pants, brightly colored shirt. He looked good. Simple style, everything fit. Can I ask you questions? I asked him one night while working late. Where do you get your clothes? He laughed. You won't believe it. Once a year I buy 30 white boxers, 30 identical pairs of black socks, 15 custom fitted dress shirts, and 5 pairs of black pants. I do laundry once a month. I never match sock. I never shop on weekend. I never spend any time thinking about what I'm wearing. It's always the next thing in my closet. You will probably see this blue shirt again in a couple weeks. I took back a couple of months prior when I would spend an entire Sunday shopping for what to wear on my first day at work, and a couple minutes every morning picking clothes, laundry every weekend, and forget ever matching sock from the dryer. I calculated that never thinking about what to wear, doing laundry once a month, and going shopping once a year saves me 15 minutes a day on average, Ben continued. Maybe more because I don't lose any frictional time jumping between thoughts, so I get 8 to 10 hours back every month. That's an extra week of waking hours of each. Do you know how much I can get done in an extra week? I knew how much Ben could get done in an extra week. He was one of the fast track, delivering results well liked by peers and bosses. Although he worked long hours like everyone else, he was not working more hours than everyone else. He simply made better decisions, by making fewer decisions, by reserving his decision-making energy for things that matter. I had friends who spent time picking out cut-link, matching ties to sock, turning hats with trendy shirts. I know those friends wouldn't trade in time shopping for the world. Waste of time? No, they loved that time. But for me, I started thinking about other things instead of thinking about what to wear. How much time was I spending making decisions every day, and which one were not important? The most exhausting idea I have ever had. I decided to spend an entire day writing down every decision I made and then looking at which decision I wanted to chop out of my life. Ben outsourced his clothing decision. What could I outsource? This is the first step to understanding which decision you can chop. An annoying process, but worth it. Here is every decision I made in one day. Should I get up now or sleep a few more minutes? Should I get up now or sleep a few more minutes? Should I get up to go to the bathroom? Should I have a glass of ice water or jump right in the shower? Should I go to the gym? Should I have a shower here or at the gym? Do I have the time to go to the gym before work if I leave now? Should I eat breakfast after or make a shake for the car? Should I put cinnamon in my shake? Should I put yogurt in my shake? Should I put spinach in my shake? Should I put vitamin D in my shake? Should I wear my work clothes to the gym and then change into my workout clothes there or wear my workout clothes to the gym and carry a hanger with all my work clothes on them? What should I wear today? Are these pants still clean? Do these socks match this shirt? Should I wear my brown belt or my black belt? Which shirt should I wear? Is this shirt too wrinkly? Should I check my email quickly now in case there is anything urgent? Should I respond to this email now or when I get to work? What should I say to this email? What should I say to this email? Do I need a bat today? Do I need a scarf today? Should I wear brown shoes or black shoes? Should I put my clothes in my trunk or in my front seat? Yeah. Should I turn right on Queen Street or take Spadina to the Gardiner? Should I try to pass the streetcar at the light or just stay behind it? Should I turn left on Jameson to get to the highway or continue on Queen? Should I turn left at Parkside to get the highway or continue on Queen? Should I can it on this yellow light? Should I turn left at Islington to get to the highway or continue on the Queensway? Should I check email this red light? Should I check email at this red light? Should I check email at this red light? Should I turn left at Keeping to get to the highway or continue to the Queensway? Should I check email at this red light? Should I call Leslie to see if she woke up with her alarm clock? Should I call anybody else? Should I check my calendar for the day? Should I park at the front of the door for convenient or far away to get extra exercise? Should I change in this aisle for the aisle and as at the back of the locker room? Should I take full locker or a half locker? Do I need to lose weight around my stomach? Do I need to shave today? Do I look good? Should I take a towel for my workout? Should I do cardio or wait or see if there is a class going on? Should I warm up on the Stairmaster, treadmill, elliptical, exercise bike, rowing machine or step machine? How long should I set the time for? Should I enter my age and weight or try to skip this? Should I pick manual, hill, random, fat burn, cardio, interval training or fitness tests? Should I keep going past 5 minutes or stop to wait? Do I sweat on the machine enough to get paper towel and spray to clean it? Should I start weight with free weight or with the machine? Should I look up workout on my phone or just wing it? What exercise should I do? Should I do squat on the crack of or with dumbbells? Should I do 3 sets or try for 4 sets? Should I get water or keep going? What exercise should I do now? Should I warm up first? Yeah, a lot of questions, right? Should I do 3 sets or try for hour? Should I get water or keep going? What exercise should I do now? And should I focus on my chest and trying to make this a full body workout? Should I look up other chest exercise on my phone? Yeah. Should I increase the weight? Should I get water now or later? Should I check in my email? Yeah, should I do another exercise to finish off with abs? Should I do plank or sit up? Should I do front plank or side plank or both? How long should I try to go for? Yeah, should I wait myself? Should I get drink of water? Should I check my email? Should I a lot of stuff? Should I focus my time on today? Should I check my email now? Should I check my voicemail now? Should I answer this instant message? Do I need to prepare for my first meeting? How should I respond to this email? Should I try to find John in person, call her or write back her to her email? Do I have anything to bring up at our team meeting? Should I say this truth right now? Do I agree to disagree with that point? Should I say this tough right now? Do I agree or disagree with that point? Do I have time for a quick break before the meeting? Should I check email now? Should I stop the bedroom or head on my desk? I check email. Should I check email now? Should I attend to the local total company meeting? Should I see if anybody wants to sit together? Should I sit at the front or the back? Should I check my email? Should I respond to this email now? Do I need to do anything to prepare for my next meeting? What's my proposal going to be in the next meeting? Should I check my email now? How should I spend the 2 hours I have open after this next meeting? How should I spend the next hour and a half? Yeah. Do I want a turkey sandwich, roast beef sandwich, ham sandwich, egg salad sandwich, tuna salad sandwich, or cheese sandwich? Do I want it brown bread, white bread, multigrain bread, rye bread, olive bread, or Indian pizza? Do I want it toasted? What do I want menu? Do I want mustard? Do I want tomatoes? Do I want onion? Do I want pickles? Do I want lettuce? Do I want cheese? Do I want extra meat or is this enough? Do I want salt and pepper? Do I want it to go for here? Do I want anything else with this? Do I want soup? Do I want beef barley or split pea? Do I want to get in the left line or the right line? Should I check email now? Do I want to pay with cash, credit, or debit? Do I need any utensils? Should I take plastic utensil or metal utensil? How many napkins should I take? Where should I eat? Should I check email now? Yeah. What should we have for dinner tonight? How should I spend the next 3 hours? What should we do tonight? And a lot stuff I think. Do I have time to write? Should I write at home or at the coffee office? Should I check my email now? Should I stay up a bit later to read? What times should I set my alarm for in the morning? Do I plan to go to the gym? What meeting do I have tomorrow? What I need to think about? Yeah, it's about 285 reasons why you are tired right now. What a day. In a total, I made 285 decisions exhausting. What were they about? I'm impressed to admit I made 75 decisions at the gym, 62 decisions about checking email, and 32 decisions about food. These three topics alone were half of my daily decision. Yet there were things that didn't really matter. Sure, it's great to go to the gym, but there is no reason I couldn't studiously follow right and work out. Sure, part of my job is being responsive, but I would still be responsive if I check email twice a day in a 50-minute window instead of a sprint speeding whenever I find a spare minute, and I love food. I never want to skip meal. I never want to eat at my desk, but a preset shake every morning with dinner left over every lunch would give me food I love and save 32 decisions. What does all this decision making do? Why was I so tired when I got home at night? Turns out the answer were right in front of me. What do you find every morning and lose every night? Imagine you start every morning with a bright yellow sponge firmly implanted in your brain. Sounds painful, but good news, it's a magic sponge. This bright yellow sponge makes all your decision for you. Just like that, make a decision, a little chunk of sponge crack off. This happens throughout the day. And what happens when the sponge is completely gone? You are spongeless. You can make decision, and there are only two ways to regrow your sponge: food and sleep. Until you eat or sleep, you are mindless and ripe for making bad decisions. Yeah. Johnny Turney says, decision fatigue helps explain why ordinarily sensible people get angry at colleges and families splurge on clothes, buy junk food at the supermarket, and converse the dealer over to rust-proof their new car. No matter how rational and high-minded you try to be, you can't make decision after decision without paying a biological price. It's different from ordinary physical fatigue. You are not consciously aware of being tired, but you are low on mental energy. Many people are familiar with the painful process of walking around a giant department store and picking items for a waiting registry. When Leslie and I went to Hudson's Bay at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, we were full of energy. Yellow balls or blue balls, dark yellow or light yellow, shiny or not that shiny. What about glasses? Should we get 8 or 12, heavy or light? Do we need tall and short, or just tall or just short? The only person whose rules you have no choice but to follow a struggle investing money for years. Yeah, I read a book on how to do it myself and knew I had to try carving off a small percentage of income, move it to an investing account, and to put it in a diversified fund. There was no reason not to invest, but at the end of the year, every year and money I tried setting aside was just sitting there, not invested, not increases, not defeated, not nothing, just getting eaten away by inflation. I felt stupid, lazy, and forgetful. What was wrong with me? I looked back and found a horrible case of decision fatigue had set in without me realizing it. When this happens, people have only two options: make no decision or make a bad decision. My bank didn't have an automatic investing feature, so I had to do it myself. I set a calendar reminder on the first of every month to try to move some money into investment, but whenever the first of the month hit, something happened. I look at the price of the fund, and if it had risen over the previous day, week, or month, I said to myself, oh, I don't want to buy it now. It's too expensive. I will wait a couple of days until it comes down. Then I would keep checking the price every day, multiple times a day. Occasionally it would come down and I would buy some. But sometimes it would keep rising, so I would watch it go up and keep telling myself I would buy it as soon as it came back down. If it was $50 one day, $51 the next, and $52 the next. Then even if it dropped down to $51, I would tell myself it was not as cheap as when I started, so I had to keep waiting. Eventually, a month would pass and my calendar reminder would go off telling me it was time to invest again. But I hadn't invested for last month yet, so I now had 2 months to save up, which meant my decision on when the investment was even more important. My brain was feeling a tremendous amount of options around making this investment decision, and I was just trying to buy a one fund. I couldn't overcome this fear. Soon another month had held up, then another one, and so I decided about my failure to invest anything. And I called my friend Fred one night in a panic. Fred studied economics under John Nash at Princeton, worked in investing banking for a year, and more important, was someone I trusted enough to share my financial failure with. I had the same problem. Then I made rules for myself. I have three rules. I wrote them down on a piece of paper, which I leave at my desk. I follow the three rules even if I don't want to. Yeah, rule 1. If checking account more than $1,000, move all over $1,000 into investing account. Rule number 2, if investing account more than $1,000, move all over $1,000 into the investment. Rule number 3, never break rules 1 or rule number 2. It works because I remove my brain from the equation. I didn't have any choice, so I'm forced to be happy with how I have invested. If the fund went up in value, I told myself I was smarter for investing more early to capitalize on those gains. Like if the market is at on all the time high and there has never been a worse time to buy, I tell myself, boy, I'm sure I'm smart only investing a little now and not my entire life saving. Alternatively, if the fund has gone down in value, I tell myself I was smart for saving money to benefit from lower prices today. It's a win-win. Now all my money is invested. I don't pay any advisor fees and I don't spend any time thinking about it. Rules, limits, barriers, creating mental brick walls to stop making decisions. Like the fish department with all the choices removed, why can't we make rules for our own brain? Preserve our decision-making energy for decisions that matter. A guided workout at the gym, a breast breakfast shake. What happens when we give ourselves less choices? The unanticipated joy of being totally stuck. Daniel Gilbert, author of Stumbling on Happiness, wondered this too. He gave a TED talk about an experiment he ran on the Harvard campus. We created a photography course, a black and white photography course, and we allowed students to come in and learn how to use the darkroom. So we gave them cameras. They went around the campus. They took the 12 pictures of their favorite professor and the dorm room and their dog. They bring us camera. We make up a contact sheet. They figure out which are the 2 best pictures, and we now spend 6 hours teaching them about the dark room. And they blow 2 of them up and they have 2 gorgeous 8 by 10 glosses of meaningful thing to them. And we say, which one would you like to give up? They say, I have to give up 1 up. We say, oh yes, we need 1 as evidence of the class project, so you have to give me 1. You have to make the choice. You get to keep 1 and I get to keep 1. Now there are 2 conditions in this experiment. In one case, the students are told, but you know, if you want to change your mind, I will always have the other one here. And in the next 4 days, before I actually mail it to the headquarters, I will be glad to swap it out with you. Better yet, I will check with you. You ever want to change your mind, it's totally returnable. The other half of the students are told the exact opposite. Make your choice. And by the way, the mail is going out, gosh, in 2 minutes. To England. Your picture will be winging its way over the Atlantic. You will never see it again. Now, half of the students are asked to make prediction about how much they are going to come to like the picture they keep and the picture they leave behind. Other students are just sent back to their little dorm room and they are measured on their liking and satisfaction with the picture, and look at what we find. First of all, think they are going to maybe come to the like a picture they choose a little more than the one they left behind, but these are not statistically significant differences. It's a very small increases, and it does not much matter whether they were in a reversible or irreversible condition. Wrong or bad simulators, because here is what really happening, but right between the swap and 5 days later. People who are stuck with the picture, who have no choice, who can never change their mind, like it a lot. And people who are deliberating, should I written it? Have I gotten the right one? Maybe this is not a good one. Maybe I left the good one. Have killed themselves. They don't like their picture, and in fact, even after the opportunity to swap has expired, they still don't like their picture. Why? Because the reversible condition is not conducive to the synthesis of happiness. So here is the final piece of this experiment. We bring in a whole new group of naive Harvard students and we say, you know, we are doing a photography course and we can do it one of the 2 days. We could do it so that when you take the two photo pictures, you would have 4 days to change your mind. Or we are doing another course where you take the two pictures and you make up your mind right away and you can never change it. Which course would you like to be in? 66% of the students, 2/3, prefer to be in the course where they have the opportunity to change their mind. Hello, 66% of the students choose to be in the course in which they will ultimately be deeply dissatisfied with the picture. No wonder we are exhausted from making decisions because we want to make those decisions. We want to go to the movie theater with the most movie playing. We like to the restaurant with the long menu. We want a shoe store with the most shoes. But having more choice reduces our happiness. We get decision fatigue. What happens? We avoid the decision or we make a bad decision. And we always worry we made the wrong choice. This is why I always fail to invest any money. It's why, looking back at our wedding registry, Leslie and I wonder who pick some of the things on there. We had to go through it all again with a fresh sponge. Freedom and autonomy are critical to our well-being, and choice is critical to freedom and autonomy. Says Barry Schwartz, author of The Paradox of Choice. Nonetheless, the tough modern Americans have more choice than any group of people have ever have before, and is presumably more freedom and autonomy. We don't seem to be benefiting from it psychologically. For a simple word that will help you prioritize everything, you make fewer decisions. You do some 10 times faster, some 5 times faster, and some many times longer, but it all adds up. The quicker decision and focusing on what's important. You look at decisions you make on a daily basis and you decide which ones to automate, regulate, effectuate, and debate. Rabbi Watchko is one of the most popular restaurants in Toronto, ranked in the top 10 of thousands in the city, and run by celebrity chef Lynn Crawford. Before opening the restaurant, Lynn worked as executive chef at the Manhattan Four Seasons, started the restaurant makeover, and wrote a best-selling cookbook. Her restaurant operates like no other in the city. Yeah, reservations are taken at only 2 sitting times. It's a flat $50 per person, and the 4-course Bricks 5 menu changes every day. What else is available beside the 4-course Bricks fixed menu? Nothing. There are no other choice. Nothing else to eat. No menus to choose from. No price to think about. And everybody gets dessert from the kitchen. There are only allergies to accommodate. Cooking is streamlined. This is all the same size. Waste is limited. And checks added quickly for the faster turnaround. Everything arrives family style in the big dishes. At the center of the table and the dimly lit statuary dining room is packed every night of the week. The club and mail says it's nice for the chef who gets to be spontaneous. Also very nice for the chef to give up that whole challenge of offering different menu items, as the cost and stress of both stocking and cooking different food is eliminated. It's so much easier. Lynn says, the decision of what to choose at a restaurant can be overwhelming. I'm thrilled when someone says, let me cook for you. Delaying is gone. Choosing nothing is gone. And business like Lynn's restaurant can benefit. Guess what Stanford research, Sina Linger, Report Proctor, and Campbell found when they chopped the varieties of head and shoulder and the style from 26 to 15? When you remove half the number of bottles the customer sees, your sales must go down, right? No. They got a sales increase of 10%. When we are presented with too many decisions, we either do nothing. Our brains are exhausted. making decision completely. We walk out in protest. This is what happened on forms where you need to pick one of the 25 different investment funds for your pension or 26 varieties of shampoo. What do people do? Ignore them all? Go with the default? What are they so tired by this point to be quit completely? Do poorly? Don't feel like quitting? Well, there is another option, making a decision that stings, being so exhausted. So pick something, anything just to get the decision making done. Yeah. Your brain is the world's most valuable piece of the real estate. It produces world-changing ideas, creates beautiful art, and explores great mysteries of life. But trivial decisions and endless choices buzz in front of your brain all day. They are flattened, like preventing you from pushing deeper. How can ding think about ping when all you are ring endless decisions steal your deep thoughts? Tiny decisions squat on your primal lot rent free. They don't pray, they don't apologize, they just steal your brain power. Sure, a lot of this comes from our increasingly connected world. Nicholas Carr, author of the New York Times bestseller and the Yellow Chase, the nuts Interactivity gives us powerful new tools for finding information, expressing ourselves, and conversing with others. It also turns us into lab rats, constantly pressing leave to get tiny pellet of social or intellectual nourishment. But I made a 185 decision on an average day, but brain was contemplating, waiting, evaluating, and deciding every minute I was awake. But there is a secret to removing choice and making every decision at twice the speed. After studying personal leadership trait among successful Ivy League grads, Fortinet 500 CEOs and best-selling author, I slowly discovered the most successful people use the same secret to read their brain. Of all the extra weight of 100 decisions a day, it's simple. Just do it, scribble. It is that simple. Every decision you make is somewhere in this box. It takes a little time or a lot. It's not very important or it's a big deal. Here, let me fill it in for you. Automate. Buying toilet paper and detergent, paying the phone bill, deciding your route to work, picking your workout routine. If it's low in time and low in importance, your goal is to outsource your brain completely and don't think about it again. Set online refills to sip toilet paper and detergent monthly. Set up auto bill payment from your bank account. Download the traffic map app and mindlessly follow the best route to work and set a workout schedule and follow it. Free your brain. Just don't mistake the smaller decision for the more important decision in which they reside. Deciding to work out every day is important. Picking which dumbbell to lift next is not. Evacuate. Grabbing the kids from the daycare, eating dinner with the family every night, saying hi to your team every morning. Evacuate is a big word with a simple meaning. Get or don't. Nail it. Just do it. If it's low in time but high in importance, your goal is just to do it. There is no decision to make. Simply evacuate. Regulate. Checking email, managing your calendar, doing scores. If it's high in time and low in importance, your goal is to regulate. Make rules and follow them. Set an email window, a single calendar review meeting, a course please every Sunday morning instead of painfully doing one or two a day. Debate. Buying a house, picking a spouse, applying for a job, moving, high importance, high time decision are the ones to spend the most time on. Debate on your head, call trusted friends, list the pros and cons, slow the decision down to more lists so you can engage in the proper debate. These are the ones that matter. Automate, regulate, and evacuate all remove decision from your head. What are you've left with? Debate, deep thinking, questioning, wondering, waiting big decisions that matter in order to avoid making bad ones. Every now and then, thinking about the decision in your life and writing them down. In this box, we'll help sort out for yourself what matters and what does not. What can you automate so you never think about it again? What can you regulate so you do it in a set time and windows? What can you evacuate as something you simply just do? What can you debate? What big thoughts you can chew on to make sure you are doing the right thing? Over time, you will do this automatically. Chunk out your decision now. The secret is not perfect. Sometimes small decisions will leak out and become big deals in your head, but that's okay. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is just to be better than before. Automating, regulating, evacuating, free your mind and free your time. Your itching brain will thank you. 5. Removal 2. The counterintuitive way to have more time. When I was 14 years old, I got my first job in a nepotism bridal scandal. My cousin Anita let me work as a pharmacy technician in her tiny 600 square foot pharmacy in small town Ontario. It was the size of a large closet and located in the front door of a busy medical building. Yeah. I started in a wild lab coat with a 3-hour Friday night shift back-breaking. And I figured I couldn't do much damage on the slowest time of the week, so I was given a chance to perfect my pill counting with slightly shorter lines. Every Friday I worked those 3 hours and got a ride in my dad's station wagon to Subway for a salami stop of the white bread. Then went home to watch Coley and Mulder do their thing on the X-File. Now, when you have only 600 square feet of space, you only have 600 square feet of space, elbow, touch, and hips bump all day, and cold sandwiches were eaten on a dirty footstools in the corner. Pill bottles were stashed below the counter, a tiny fridge and microwave above this tiny sink. You had to walk through the content paperwork piles to get a bedroom, which was stuffed with the coats and boots, and tried not to pee on the pyramid of ginger ale cases stacked on the both sides of the toilet. The bus did well, so my cousin teamed up with my dad to open a second location 20 minutes away. This time, they said, we will actually have room to move, so they built the second store 3 times the size of the first. There was enough space to actually have a greeting card and sunblock and bandage, and the staff could move freely, like a ballet dancers at the match. Lots of air, soft everywhere. I turned 16 and started working at the second store as my summer job. I had perfected counting pills now, and I had worked up the courage to talk to customers. Yeah. I noticed immediately that the second store was worse than the first in almost every way. First off, there was no extra storage space. Where was this extra storage space? Every shelf was full and boxes were stuffed above and below the counter because there were more items on the shelf. There was more overstock of more items, so now you had to watch you didn't pee onto cans or greeting card beside the toilet. Communication was more difficult too. Messages were passed on the paper and notebook instead of the tiny staff just talking amongst themselves. There was room for 2 computers now, which led to a nice-looking drop-off and pick-up station instead of just one spot. But that meant customer confusion and the time loss moving everything between the 2 spots. The extra distance also meant customers sometimes felt nobody around when they wanted to drop off a prescription, and when their pills were ready, you now had to call them and find them down an aisle. So the performances took more time giving our prescriptions. Prescriptions took longer to fill. Everybody was working as fast as they could, but it felt slow to customer. Yeah, what happened? Work expanded to fill space available and the result is lower quality. Although the story seems like it's about having more space, it's actually about having more time. With longer counters, twice the drop-off and more room for customer to walk around, the new store offered more time to fill prescription, so it took more time. Have you ever got a prescription filled in the middle of the gigantic warehouse store? Take a while, doesn't it? The single law to determine how long anything takes to do. Yeah. The thesis of the piece was in the first sentence. It's a common place of frustration that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completions. Haven't we heard advice like this before? The ultimate inspiration is the deadline, for instance. If you leave it till the last minute, it takes only a minute to do. Or how about the content of your purse will expand to fill all available space? And the second pharmacy that my cousin opened, there was more time available. Customers were not staring at you. There was no walk-in clinics next door and outputting prescription after prescription. So there was time to look up, research, and answer questions about cough syrup. It was a calm environment as opposed to hectic environment, and work expanded to fill the time. Yeah, think back to bringing work home from school on the weekend. There was nothing better than the weekend, but the dual pain of having to do a bit of math problems and write a book. Summer will loom like a thin black cloud over Friday night all the Saturday. and Sunday morning. I remember I would always work on homework Sunday night, but once in a while, if we were going away for the weekend, if I had a busy plan on both days, I would actually get my homework done on Friday night. The deadline had artificially become sooner in my mind, and what happened? It felt great. I felt like I had more time all weekend. I figured the deadline created more space. How do you cut all the meeting time in half? A part of a job I had a few years ago, I suddenly took ownership over the company's weekly meeting for all employees. It was a rumbly Friday morning after without a clear agenda. A presentation guidelines or timelines all in front of the 1,000 people. The CEO would speak for as long as he wanted about whatever he wanted and then pass the mic off to the next executive sitting at the table. He would speak as long as he wanted, whatever he wanted before passing the mic to the next person. It was unpredictable. Starting at 9 a.m., it rolled into 10 a.m., sometimes 10:30 a.m., and occasionally 11 a.m. People would go on tangents. Nobody was concise, and everyone would leave 2 hours later in the days, trying to remember all the mixed priority they had at the beginning of the meeting. So I worked with the CEO to redesign the meeting. We created 5 segments of 5 minutes each and set up an agenda and schedule of presenter in advance. The numbers outside all walls, the basic 101, sell, and mailbag, where the CEO opened later and answered questions from the audience. A new meeting was 25 minutes long and it never went over time once. How come? Because I downloaded a sound effect that we play over the speaker which with 1 minute left and a ticking clock sound effect that play with 15 seconds left, and then the AV guy actually cut off a person's microphone when time hits 0. If you hit 0, you will be talking on stage, but nobody could hear you. You just had to walk off. What happened? Well, at first everybody complained. I need 7 minutes to present. I need 10 minutes. I need much longer because I have something very, very important to say. We said no and shared this quote from Harvard Business Review interview with former General Electric CEO Jackwell. For a large organization to be effective, it must be simple. For a large organization to be simple, its people must have a self-confidence and intellectual self-assurance. And secure manager create complexity, frightened, nervous manager use thick, convoluted planning books, and business side will filled with everything they have known since childhood. Real leaders don't need clutter. People must have the self-confidence to be clear, precise, to be sure that every person in their organization, highest to the lowest, understand what a business is trying to achieve. But it's not easy. You can't believe how hard it is for people to be simple, but how much they fear being simple. They worry that if they are simple, people will think they are simple-minded. In reality, of course, it's just the reverse. Clear, tough-minded people are the most simple. That's what happened. While with a clear time limit presenters practice, the times up they prioritize their most important message and scrap everything else. They use bullet point and summary slide. We introduced this concept by saying if you can't say it concisely in 5 minutes, you can't say it. But then people doze off or start checking their email. Have you ever tried listening to someone talk for 20 straight minutes? Unless they are extremely clear, concise, and captivating, it's a nightmare. Everybody got a bit scared of their mic cutting off, so the meeting were always 25 minutes. What happened to productivity? Well, 1,000 people save an hour every week. That's 2.5% of total company time saved by, which is one small change. How do you complete a 3-month project in one day? Sam Braina is a leader in the technology industry. He oversees the design and development of a large website with millions of hits a day. He has more than 60 people working for him. It's a big team. There are many moving parts, from designer to coders to copy editor. How does he motivate his team to design and launch entirely new pages for the website from scratch? He follows Parkinson's law and cuts down time. He books his entire team for a secret one-day meeting and then issues them a challenge in the morning, and that's he said they are going to get done by the end of the day. There is only one day to make an entire website, from designing the layout to testing everything. Everyone freaks out about the deadline and then everyone starts working together. The less time we have to do it, the more focused and organized we are. We all work together. We have to. There is no way we would hit the deadline otherwise. And we always manage to pull it off. Sam says, by spending a day on a project that would otherwise take months, he'll freeze up everyone's thinking time, transactional time, and work time. Nobody will be thinking about the website and the path or bus again. They can think about other things. There will be no emails about the website, no out-of-office messages, no meeting set up to discuss it, no confusion about who said that. Everyone talks in person at the same time until it's done. What's the counterintuitive secret to having more time? Chop the amount of time you have to do it. Look at the left of the graph. The less time available, the more effort you put in. There is no choice. The deadline is right here. Think of how focused you are in an exam. 2 hours to do it. You do it in 2 hours. That deadline creates an urgency that allows the mind to prioritize the focus. Now look at the right of the graph. The more time available, the less effort you put in overall. A little tough today. Start the project tomorrow. Revisit in the next week and procrastinate. Why? Because we are allowed to. There is no penalty, nothing kills productivity faster than a late deadline. What does C. North Scott Parkinson say about waiting to get it done? Delay is the deadliest form of denial, he says. Have you ever finished a project on time and then the teacher announced to the class that the deadline has been extended? What a bummer. Now, even though you finished at the original deadline, you get the pain and torture of mentally revisiting your project over and over again until you hand it in. Could it be better? How can we improve it? Calvin says it best. Remember, work expense of all the time available for its completions. At my cousin's second pharmacy in the original 1,000-person company meeting, a normal website development cycle, what invisible liability do you find? Time. Too much of it, and work expanding to fill it as a result. What's the solution? Create last-minute panic, move deadlines up, revise them for yourself, and remember you are creating space after the project has been delivered. Remember, a late deadline is painful. Nothing gets done. Do only nerds do their homework Friday night? Maybe, but they aren't the ones with the whole weekend to party. 6. Removal 3. How to add an hour today with only one small change. I got my first office job in my early 20s. For 4 months between school years in college, I held the sexy job title in the summer intern at a big consulting company in a downtown high-rise. Cassie was my boss and the head of the project I was assigned for the summer, which was for one of the world's largest oil and gas companies. One Monday morning, I was sitting in his glass window corner office with the rising sun beaming in onto the desk between us. More than 3 months of the late night stress and working on weekend had finally rolled up to right now. We were minutes away from our big presentation. Cassie's sense of humor had carried me through all the challenges and Chinese takeout boxes leading up to today. But he had just asked me a last-minute question that made me snap. My nerves were fried. I had no energy left. Why do we have an assumption in here instead of an actual figure? He asked. Because Roger didn't write back to my 3 email asking him for the right number, and he never gave us a number where we could call him. I tried his assistant twice and never heard back either. It's like he forgot we existed. You know that. Roger was a highly touted CEO of the oil and gas company who everybody looked up to. He was highlighted in a flashy magazine article and known as a people leader who espoused work-life balance while non-calmly breathing his numbers every year. Meanwhile, employees at the company told us he ate lunch in the company cafeteria, drove a beat-up truck to work, and had a dinner with his kids every night. That man was a legend. After our introductory meeting 3 months back, I wrote Roger an email summarizing our meeting and next steps. He didn't write back. I then took my laptop home every night in case Roger emailed with an urgent question or request. I checked email every half an hour just in case the CEO of the company ever emailed late at night asking for a project update the next morning, just so if he ever needed anything, I would be there. But there was nothing. In 3 months of working for him, he didn't write me a single email. He didn't write Casey any email either. We dropped a few questions along the way, but never heard back. And I had just told Cassie, My messages to his assistant were not returned either. Now suddenly it was time for our big presentation, and Cassie was questioning why I didn't have certain number. I stated my nerves as we stepped into the bedroom where Roger was sitting and chatting with our company president. He smiled and got up to shake our hand and thank us for the work we have done. I'm so excited, he said with a big grin. I can't tell you how much I appreciate how hard you have been working. You guys are genius. I'm going to learn so much from this chat. The anger I felt about his unresponsiveness suddenly melted. I felt like $1,000,000. Yeah, we jumped into the presentation and had a great discussion. It was casual, engaging, and open. He loved it. And I couldn't believe how relaxed everything felt. He was talking to us like old friends after the meeting was done. There was so much trust between us. So as we were packing up, I talked about it for a split second and just had to ask him one last question. I couldn't help myself. Roger, thanks so much for today. We had trouble running some numbers by you in advance, and I know we didn't hear from you on the additional question we had. So just for my own learning, can I ask you why you don't write or respond to email? How do you do that? His eyes opened a bit and he seemed surprised by the questions. But he was not fazed. Neil, he said, there is a problem with email. After you send one, the responsibility of it goes away from you and becomes the responsibility of the other person. It's a hot potato, and email is a work given to you by somebody else. I noted thinking about all the email I got from Cassie and coworker. I do read email, but once looking for something are always much less urgent than they seem. When I don't respond, one of the two things happen. The person figure out on their own, or they email me again because it really was important. Sure, I send one or two emails in a day, but they usually say, give me a call, or let's chat about this. Unless they are from my wife, I will answer all of those. I was very confused. How was the CEO of multi-billion-dollar company with thousands of employees not emailing? He paused to look at me, and since I didn't get it, you know what? Since I don't write many emails, I don't receive many either. I probably only get 5 or 10 emails a day. 5 emails a day? Here I was working at the consulting company writing emails morning, noon, and night. It was the same for everyone. My inbox has 700 email. My coworker would say inside, I did email all Sunday afternoon. There was no way around it. After all, our bosses sent urgent email at 7 a.m. Saturday, late afternoon, Sunday afternoon, or 11 p.m. Friday. I knew this was common in my company and other. My company had even reported that office workers spend on average 28% of their time answering email, almost a third. And Bain, one of the world's largest email management services, say the average person gets 147 emails a day. We were all attached to our cell phone and computer, firing email around, working hard to get everything done. It was part of the job, and we all wanted to do a good job. Suddenly it started to click why Roger was known to have lunch in the cafeteria with employees every day and drive home for dinner with his family every night. He didn't respond to hot potatoes. He didn't write back to email and create email chains. I looked up at Roger again, and he continued, most of the time, Neil, people really do figure it out on their own. They realize they know the answer. They keep on moving. They develop confidence for the next time. They become better themselves. Your assumption is that slides today were not perfect, but they work perfectly well, and you learn by doing them. Don't get me wrong. I sometimes walk over to chat with a person or pick up the phone, but if I work back to email, I'll be sending a hot potato and nobody wants to be asked by the CEO to do something. Never mind on an evening or weekend. Why? Because people will drop everything to reply, and they will expect me to reply to that. Basically, if I send an email, it will never end, so I end it.